What up, what up, what up? Get my camera on. What up, what up, what up? What is going on, guys? How you guys doing? See what we got here today. What's up, Jack? How you doing? Karen? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Take a look at the market cap here. It is definitely the Bitcoin J. Tanuj, missing your live streams. Well, we are back. Daryl, what's up? See what's going on overall around the markets today. Binance still at that $500 mark. Cardano pulling back a bit. Bitcoin and Ethereum pretty much flat on the day. Haven't really moved too much. XRP down a little bit. Doge down. Solana down a little. Solana's had a crazy run over the last like a month or so. In the last 24 hours, the top performing coin here in the top 100 is Engine, up 22% today. Telcoin's up 17, Thor about 15, KuCoin moving up a bit. Why is Cardano here for this? What? It's weird. In the last 7 days, Avalanche is up over 100%. 70, 60, 44, 37, 32, 36. Yes, everything is in good shape over here. Thank you very much, man. Hope the same for you. Fear and Greed Index is at 73. Yesterday was in extreme greed. So it's chilled out a little bit today. Malena, what is up? Andres, I'm gonna cover Bitcoin first and some of the major altcoins, and then I'll go into some Q&A for different coins. What's up, Justin? How you doing? Let me pull up here. See how this is looking. Waiting to see if we finally get that that golden cross over here. So we need the 50 to come back across the 200-day moving average. So when that happens, it should be bullish. Potentially could be happening in September. You see that we had the death cross back here. After the death cross, we were around 35 and we went to 28. Was the lowest here. And now hopefully we see this golden cross, which would be another bullish signal in the markets. Take that out the way. Let's look at some volume shelves. So let me kind of do like this. So you'll notice that the most open interest, where a lot of buyers are selling, buying and selling, is right where we are right now. So you look at where we're at, look at where the most transactions are. So it's definitely a big resistance here. There's going to be a lot of buyers and sellers. And as you can see, it seems to be more sellers than buyers in that area right now. So we got to get through that. Once we can get above this area, this shelf, we basically, you can see how it drops off here, right? So there's a drop off until about 53, 54,000. It starts picking back up, and then we'll see a lot more open interest over here at these levels, and that's between 55 all the way up to about $60,000. So that'll be our next resistance once we can break above $50,000. So that's what we're keeping an eye on here. So to get there, we got to break above 50. The exact number is closer to 51 that we're looking to break. Small, resistance after that, all the way up to about 53. Then the volume kind of comes back in around 55. There's going to be a lot of resistance definitely between that $57,000 to $58,000 range. Because remember, that was a previous all-time high. So anytime there's a previous all-time high, there's usually a lot of open interest in that area. So that's why you'll notice that the volume and open interest here is much higher than where we currently are right here. And it's about the same as down here. This was around that $34,000, $35,000 range. So remember how difficult it was to get above 35,000? It's because there was so much open interest there. So it took us, basically after we dropped below it, it took us from June 21st till July 25th, 26th to get above that. So it took a bit over a month to finally get over this level here. So, if we get back up here to this range, it could take something similar to be able to break above that range to retest then the previous all-time highs over here at 65,000. So obviously if there's any type of something that shoots it up, like a catalyst, any type of news catalyst, like for example, if Tesla says that they're again accepting Bitcoin, I'm expecting a very bullish run up. So if let's say for example today Tesla says that they're once again accepting Bitcoin, I'm expecting prices to shoot through 50,000 and at least up to like 55 range, at least up to here, and then a little bit of consolidation, and I expect definitely to break the all-time high at that point. But without any catalyst like that, then we're just gonna slowly kind of be grinding up, right? Right now, you can see that we're in this channel right here. This is currently the channel we're trading in. Let me move this out the way. Hold on. Get that out of the way. So right now we've kind of been in this channel where we've tested the top over here. We've tested the bottom, tested the top again about 2 more times there. Tested the bottom again. So we've had 2 touches on both sides. If we continue within this channel, then we're expecting, we almost touched the bottom, but the bottom's a little bit lower. But, kind of something like that where it just kind of grinds up very slowly. As long as we continue to make higher highs and higher lows, then we're going to continue within this channel. But if we break it, then, we have to reassess the situation at that point. You're selling ADA, waiting for a deep down. For a deep down, I don't think any deep downs are going to come unless Bitcoin drops deep down. Then, prices of everything else is going to follow. But remember, right now, the upgrade in Cardano is coming. So there's no reason why it's going to dip before the update. There could be small dips. I don't think there's going to be anything huge, So leading up to that update, Cardano could possibly, continue to move up. That's usually what happens. And maybe on the day of the update or the day after or whatever, it might dip, for a small amount of time before then it continues rallying up. But I don't see a reason why it would, dip really deeply at this point. Yeah, it's overbought, but the update is still a couple weeks away. So usually when there's any type of upgrade or update, things go up in price. So kind of like Ethereum. Ethereum had this run up leading up to the update. So remember, Ethereum just had an update this month, and leading up to it, look at the run up that it had, right? And then after the update is when it started consolidating. It's been consolidating here ever since. But leading up to it, this is what it looked like. So in Cardano, we could potentially see, something like that as well, where we've had a lot of green here, but we're still the update's not until I think the September 12th, something like that. So it's about 2 weeks away, more than 2 weeks away. So we can still see some more green here. We can see this price continue up potentially. This is just I'm speaking from history, right? What prices usually do, but you never know. Things can change. Daryl, I mean, it would be short term. It could be bearish, for like the day or something, but I wouldn't consider anything bearish as long as we're above 42,000. We're bullish. If prices fall below 42,000, then we could be bearish again for another short amount of time. Alfredo, what's up, man? How you doing? It's definitely been a long time. It's been a couple weeks since I've done a stream because I was out of town. I was out of town for a couple weeks. Other things that were going on. So yeah, it's been a couple weeks, man. Your average cost is 90 for ETC. Man, you bought at the top then. What's up, Leo? How you doing? Audio is low. On my end, it looks pretty good here. My levels look pretty good on this end. So check maybe on wherever you're watching it. Maybe the quality is lower. If the quality is lower, you can change it to a higher quality, and audio quality will be better and probably louder as well. Damn Jan, is that your name? Via which exchange do you convert to fiat? So are you talking about like transferring to your bank account? That's going to probably be more focus. It's gonna depend on where you're located. So for me, it might be different than for you. For me, I can transfer to fiat from like Coinbase, Gemini, things like that. For you, depending where you're located, it might be you might have to you know do it in a different way on a different exchange, things like that. So that's going to be dependent on where you're located. I mean, 100,000 is definitely a possibility, but a lot has to go, right for it to happen. It's not that's just gonna happen, you know. But usually Bitcoin is very bullish in the fourth quarter for the end of the year. Um, so if we're assuming that we're still in the bull run, right? We're expecting to hit a new all-time high by the end of the year. So it doesn't mean 100,000. It could be, 70,000, 75, 80, 85, right? Now for 100K to happen, I think it's a possibility, but a lot of things have to go right. Like like I said before, Tesla has to start accepting Bitcoin again because that's gonna push the price up probably another $10,000 to $15,000. And then if let's say there's another big company like Apple, Amazon, any of the FANG companies, that they start either adding it to their balance sheet or they add it as a form of payment. If they add it into their ecosystem, that's the second catalyst that I believe is needed for Bitcoin to hit $100,000 this year by the end of this year. So we would need those two things to go right for Bitcoin for it to hit 100K. So it is a possibility, but it's still at this point it's still a long shot, for it to do that in the next 4 months. We're basically trying to get 100% move up in 4 months from $50,000. So I mean, it's possible, especially in crypto. Um, but still, year to date, we're up 68% right now. In the past 12 months, we're up 113%. So we want basically it to do what it's done in the past 12 months in the next 4 months. So it's a long shot, but if it's possible anywhere, it's definitely possible in crypto. And yeah, once we get through 100K, then 500K is only a matter of time. Marco Antonio. Marco says, could you explain a little bit about what you mean when you say you're risking 1, 2, 3%? So that means that the what I'm risking from my trading capital. So for example, if I have $1,000 that is for my trading capital, which is this is money only for trading. This is not, I'm not talking about long-term investments. I'm not talking about anything like that. This is capital that I've allocated only for trading, right? So let's say I have $1,000 for trading. If I'm risking 1% on the position, that means that if I hit my stop loss on that trade, I lose 1% of my trading capital. So if my trading capital is $1,000 and I risk 1%, that means if my trade hits a stop loss, I lose $10. If it's 2%, that means that if my trade hits a stop loss, I lose $20. If it's 3%, it means that if my trade hits a stop loss, I lose $30. So that's what you're risking that percentage of your trading capital. So if it's $1,000, then 1% of 1,000 is going to be $10. If it's 10,000, then 1% is $100 and so forth. So it doesn't mean your position sizing. It means what you're losing. You have to calculate what you're losing if the trade fails, because your main priority is risk management. So you want to calculate your position size. So if you hit your stop loss, you only lose that 1, 2, or 3% that you're risking on that one trade. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I have a video that teaches you about that, and it kind of explains how that works. If you go to playlist on my here on my YouTube and you go to trading tutorials, view full playlist, right here, this video right here, how to calculate position size properly while trading Bitcoin with leverage. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're trading with leverage or not. This will give you the calculations on, the formula to calculate your position size. So I recommend you checking that out. Danielle B, what's up? Dave, Pura Vida from Costa Rica. What's up, Dave? How you doing? MJS, you're thinking from your point of view, which is, you're buying Bitcoin and holding, right? But you have to think about different points of view. There's people like myself, for example, where we have a business where the business is focused around crypto and Bitcoin. So a lot of the times, a lot of our income from our business is paid in Bitcoin. So you know, sometimes instead of having to cash out, if I'm cashing out from Bitcoin to my bank account to fiat, I rather just use that Bitcoin. If I can pay with Bitcoin and crypto, I rather just pay with crypto directly rather than transferring it over to a bank account and then purchasing it with fiat. So I mean, taxation is gonna suck, but that's part of the game. That's something that's part of business that you take into account as a business cost. And it is what it is. I always tell people when they ask me about taxes, I always tell people I rather pay taxes on an extra $100,000 than not make an extra $100,000 and not pay taxes. So it depends how you're looking at it and from what standpoint you're looking at it. You just have to realize there's different points of views depending on what that person is doing and how they're getting their crypto. So I hold most of my crypto that my business brings in. I, for the majority, hold it and don't ever look to spend it or anything like that. But I have spent, crypto before because I didn't want to have to transfer it over first, to a bank account to then pay for something. So if it makes my life a little bit easier to just directly pay with Bitcoin or anything else. On what greed score you think of selling? We're approaching 80. I think the greed score is more of a indication of market sentiment. So, even where we currently are is still pretty low compared to where we were a few months back, right? So if we look at the past year, like we sat from November 6th, right? So November 6th up until January 11th, we were above 90. So if you would have sold because the greed score said 90 on November 6th, you would have missed out on a lot of money. So you don't ever want to make decisions on buying and selling based on the greed score. This is more of market sentiment, so you know more or less what the sentiment is in the market, rather than an indication of whether or not to buy and sell. So I wouldn't make decisions based off those scores. Those are again theoretical, right? And mostly based on sentiment. Yeah, definitely, MJ. Bitcoin is definitely a long-term hold, 100%. I've been holding Bitcoin since 2015, so trust me. No, Ken. It's not about putting the full $1,000 in. You have to calculate. You have to know where your stop loss is when you're entering. So, for example, if I'm entering at 48,000, this is a trade that we took recently here, today. If I'm entering at $48,000, um, and again, stop losses depend on your risk tolerance and many other factors. So I'm just giving you an easy to understand way so that you can just kind of do it on your own. But let's say I'm entering at 48,000. I'm gonna set my stop loss around 47,750. So that gives me about $250 room for it to like go up and down before I get stopped out, right? Which is really not a lot. This is only for scalping. So if you're scalping, you want a tight stop loss. If you're swinging, then you want your stop losses a little bit looser. So for scalping, which is what we're gonna speak about here, just for simple purposes, if your entry is at 48,000 and your exit, if you're wrong, is at 47,750, you have to calculate how much you can put into that trade, so that if your trade stops out, you only lose that 1% of your trading capital. So once you calculate that, which is what I show in the video, I give you the formula on so that you know how to calculate it. That's how you come up with your position size. So it's not, you're definitely not putting your full $1,000 in, because if you put $1,000 in and it drops that much, you're probably going to be losing more than 1%. So you want to calculate your position size based on your entry and your exit. I hope that makes sense. No problem, Marco. Andres, well, I mean, what caused you to buy that? Why did you invest into that project? So the main thing that I usually tell people when they're asking about projects, what projects to invest in, what altcoins and all that, I ask them, well, like, you need to have a reason to invest into a project. Like, don't just invest in it because it's what's being, what's trending today, or because it's gone up a lot. You don't want to buy something that's already gone up a lot. Like, for example, Cardano. Everybody wants to buy Cardano because it's moved up. Look at this move, right? So when you see this move, you're like, I want to buy Cardano. The issue with thinking that way is, once this move has happened, you're too late. You're now buying into other people selling. So since August 10th, so in 2 weeks, Cardano has moved up over 100%, right? So now that Cardano moved up 100%, everybody's talking about it. So what happens is, people are going to FOMO, fear of missing out, and buy at the top here. But guys, you already missed out on this move. Why would you buy this stock right now? Why would you buy this coin right now after it moved 100%? You don't want to buy after a project moves 100%. You want to buy when it's down, right? You want to buy after this right here. Like the time to buy Cardano was when you saw it go up this high to $2.50 and you saw it drop 60%. That's when you buy the project. You buy this. You buy the dip. That's where you're buying your coins. This is where you're buying. You're not buying them when they're up here. If you buy when they're up there, you already missed out on that. You missed out on that move. Why are you buying up here? You know what I mean? So now is not the time to buy, I would say, a coin. And whenever you're thinking about buying, investing into a new project or investing more into a project, you have to think in these terms. You have to see, okay, what has it done recently? You know, where has it been in the past? Where is it now? Where could it go? And that's just from a technical analysis perspective, right? I always recommend understand what the project is. Do you think the project has a future? Do you think it's going to be around for the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think it's going to actually make an impact in its space? How many other projects like there are they? What are the prices of those projects? You know, compare the two projects. You have to do a lot of research before putting your money into an investment. Don't just throw money into something because it's up 100% and YouTubers are making videos about it. Again, you want to be buying these projects when they're down here. You don't want to be buying them up here. So that's why the first question I always ask people when they tell me that they bought something at the top and now they're down, I ask them, well, why did you buy in the first place? Like, what made you make that investment? Because if you believe in that project, if you did your research and believe in that project long term, then you know the day to day shouldn't matter to you. The week to week, you know, you should be more focused on the longer term, on the bigger picture. But if you bought based off hype, then you know now you're kind of stuck, right? You're stuck. You're down whatever amount. Now you have to decide: do you want to hold a losing trade, right, and a losing investment, and wait for it to come back, which a lot of times it does, but your money's gonna be stuck there all that time. Do you want to cut your losses now and you know maybe invest in something else that has more potential to move right now because it's currently down? That you see that it could potentially go up. Maybe you want to invest in a better project that you understand better. There's many different things. So I mean, at that point, once you're down on something, it's up to you. I can't really tell you what to do with that, because the entry where you messed up was not in, you know, not in holding it right now, but where you messed up was just entering it in the beginning. If you didn't do your due diligence before entering and have a solid reason why it was a good time to enter. So, you know, at this point, once you're down, now it's up to you. Do you want to cut losses and go from there? Do you want to hold, see what happens? You know, do you want to let it develop a little bit more? Things like that. So, but yeah, that's just kind of a general answer for anyone that's always that, because I obviously get this question all the time. You know, what coin should I buy next? That's the question I get the most, and there's no answer to that. You know, and the answers that I give, nobody wants to hear. But the reality of it is what I just explained. It's not about what coin to buy next. It's about, you know why you're buying a coin. Understand why you're making an investment. Because most of the errors are made on your entry. If you're buying, so what a lot of especially new investors do, they hear about Cardano like they are right now, and they end up buying here because it's up 100%. And then what happens? Price dips, right? And let's say it falls to 230. Let's say maybe even falls lower to $2. Now they're gonna panic sell because they just lost half their money, right? They lost whatever percentage. So now they panic sell, and guess what happens once they panic sell? Because this literally just happened. Look at this right here. Cardano went up. A bunch of people bought up here. Cardano went down. A bunch of people sold down here. Cardano went back up. Now a bunch of people are buying down here, up here. When it goes down, all these people that bought up here are going to start selling again down here. And it's going to happen over and over and over again. That's the nature of the market. Those who understand the market are buying down here and selling up here. Those who don't understand the market, who are just chasing hype, are buying up here and selling down here. So you're doing the opposite of what you should be doing. The goal is to buy low, sell high. Most people buy high and sell low because they chase, they chase whatever is trending at the moment. Ken, so the only way your stop does not get filled is if you're not using a market order. So for a stop loss, I recommend using market orders. There could be slippage depending on what exchange you're trading on. I trade on Bybit. I barely ever see any, slippage. If there is, it's very minimal. But slippage is, again, it's part of the game. I'd rather have slippage, a little bit of slippage, than not have my stop loss trigger and, turning up what was a small loss into a big loss. So the name of the game is to minimize your losses. Hi from London. What's going on, man? From London. I don't know how to say your name. Usama? Is that how it is? Usama? What's going on from London? How you doing? Appreciate you tuning in. Ninja, you longed Bitcoin this morning. Was a good trade. Nice job, man. Did you long like on that dip? That was the perfect time to take a trade. Which chain type should we use when transferring crypto? What do you mean? What do you mean which chain type? Yes, guys, make sure to smash that like button if you're in here. We have 30 people in here, over 30 people, but only 20 likes, guys. Let's get those likes up. Hit those thumbs up. Light them up for me. I appreciate it. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel, guys. What do I think about Litecoin? I like Litecoin. Litecoin has room to move up. Again, look back on history. Like look at this, compared to what we just saw in Cardano, right? Right now, look at this move over here. In Litecoin. Look at this move. Guess what happened during this move? A lot of people bought that, right? Because it was a trending coin. It was moving up a lot. Then guess what happened during this move? A lot of people sold. The same people that bought up here were selling down here. So they lost money. Now, where is the price at? We're currently at a 177, right? So back in May, we hit $400. Right now, we're under $200. Guys, if you're looking to buy a coin that's still in its dip and hasn't moved up yet, this is the type of stuff that you got to be looking for, because there is potential here for it to go back to where it was, right? We already know where it's been and where it could be, where it could go back to. So why wouldn't you buy this that still has all that room to move up, right? So let's see how big of a move that is from where the price currently is. Let's say if we go back up to 400, that's 133% move, guys. 133% move. That's how you find a coin to trade, you know, something that potentially could move up. Because if you look at Cardano in the same perspective, Cardano already, it went up, then it had the dip, just like Litecoin is right now. This is Litecoin right now is in this area right here, right? Where it's starting to move back up. Cardano already had the move up, guys. It's already moved up over 100%. Look at where it was before to where it was here. Boom, huge move up, right? It already surpassed this. So if, let's say, Litecoin does something similar, then why wouldn't you be, this is where you should be buying. You should be buying on this dip on the bottom. You shouldn't be buying once the move already happens. So I like Litecoin. I'm invested in Litecoin. I've bought this dip all the way down to around the $100 area. And I'm just holding now for it to, you know, to go back up to this area up here. No problem, Andres. Is not about it's about the what it's about learning, right? You're gonna make mistakes. That's part of the process. You're gonna lose money. It's all part of it. But you're learning. As long as you're learning from the mistakes, and trying not to replicate them, then that's the it's you know it's money that you lost, but you learned a lesson, and now next time you're not gonna lose, right? You're not gonna lose that money next time because you're gonna think about it in a different perspective, in a different light, so that you don't make the same mistakes again, right? Um, so as long as you're learning and continuing to learn, then you're gonna losing money is part of it. You know, I lost tens of thousands of dollars when I was first learning how to trade and investing and all that, and that's just part of learning. The same way, if you want to do something, you want to be a professional at something, make a career of something, and you go to school, to university or whatever it is, you have to pay. It costs you tuition. So when you make mistakes in investing, that's part of that tuition. Because unfortunately, like, that's the way that you're gonna learn. It has to sting, right? It has to hurt you, for you to learn, a lot of the times. Jojo, again, man, like we said already, you're buying at the top. You're buying the hype, man. You're buying the hype. You should be buying coins when they're on the bottom, not when they've already run over 100% in 2 weeks. Now the good news for ADA is that, potentially it can still move back up because the update isn't for another 2 weeks. So, leading up to September 12th, I think that prices should go up still. Potentially, not saying that it will, is potentially, based on history, usually things still go up, when a major update is coming. So I think it'll still go up from where it is right now. But again, you're buying hype at this point when it's already run up, over 100%. So I would say once you get into profit, start taking some profits. You don't have to sell all of it, but sell some of it, take some profits. Don't get greedy. Rancho, on Bybit, if you have your funds in USD, then you basically have it in the asset, in the underlying asset. So for example, if your money's in BTC USD, that means that your money is going to fluctuate with the price of Bitcoin regardless of whether you're in a trade or not. If your money is in USDT, then your money will not fluctuate with the price of the underlying asset. So if Bitcoin goes up, your money stays the same. If Bitcoin goes down, your money stays the same unless you're in a trade. If you're in a trade, then your money goes up and down with Bitcoin. If you're not in a trade, your money stays the same. So that's in USDT. Okay, so that's the difference between the two of them. Andres, that usually is maybe you have too much money invested into it. You have to find the right balance a lot of the times. If you're over leveraging yourself, your money, your funds, if you feel like you're too emotional about it, then it's probably because you have too much invested in it. So sometimes you want to invest less so that it doesn't affect you as much emotionally and you can go about your day normally, regardless of price fluctuations. Um, and invest maybe in investments that are a little bit safer and less risky. So when you're investing in altcoins are always more volatile and riskier than something like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Even Ethereum is riskier than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, when it comes to risk, Bitcoin is gonna be the least risky one, right? So Bitcoin is very risky, right? So don't get it twisted. Bitcoin is still risky compared to like the stock market, right? Bitcoin is risky because it moves up and down very, very quickly in either direction. But it is less risky than Ethereum, and it's way less risky than all these other altcoins because these other altcoins could go up and down. Like you see here, 100% move in 14 days, right? Just as fast, it could drop. Look at this from what was it? From like 250, it dropped down to what was the low here? 91 cents in a matter of a couple of like 4 or 5 days, right? So just as fast as it goes up, it could go down. So if you find yourself you're too emotional, I would say keep the majority of your investments in safer things like Bitcoin. And when you're playing the altcoin market, keep that portion of your portfolio a lot smaller. All right. So for example, the majority of my portfolio in crypto is in Bitcoin and Ethereum, around 50-50 split, right? Then I have about 10% of my entire portfolio is in altcoins. So let's say like 80%, I would say maybe like 60 to 70% of my crypto portfolio is in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Then about 10% is in altcoins. Then I have around 10 to 15% in cash, in liquid cash, so that when there's dips, I have money to buy more. Right. And because I've diversified it in that way. And then I have another percentage allocated to just trading. Right. So going in and out of trades constantly. So because I've set it up that way, I'm not too emotional about the results, right? Whether it goes up or down on the day to day, it doesn't really affect me because overall my portfolio is pretty diversified. I'm mostly into the safer cryptos. I'm in Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm in other top 10, top 25 projects that I understand, and I'm focused on the bigger picture, the long term. I'm not focused on the day to day. So if on days like May 12th, May 17th, May 19th, that the market just kind of shits itself, guess what I do? I don't open up my portfolio. I don't look at it. I don't look at prices. Um, because why am I gonna put myself in a bad mood and get emotional over it? Then I'm gonna make bad decisions, right? I'm not gonna make logical decisions on those days. I'm gonna make emotional decisions. So do whatever you have to do to discipline yourself. If it's not looking at your portfolio during days when it's red, things like that. That's kind of the things that I did when I was getting into it, so that you won't be so emotional about your investments. Maybe invest less. There's many different things that you can try. And also, I always say you can diversify as well. If you want to be a little bit safer, you want to diversify into like the stock market, into index funds and stocks, stuff like that. Those move very slowly, but it's better than being in fiat. So that's kind of what I would recommend. No problem, Rancho. Sebastian, I'll take a look. I haven't looked at Icon. XRP still dealing with the SEC case. So until that's figured out, that's kind of capped, probably kind of where it is right now. It'll stay probably within this range, I think. It could possibly move up to this range up here, but I think it's capped under $2 until the SEC case is resolved. Once the SEC case is resolved, if it's in the favor of XRP, I definitely see it going beyond $2, possibly $3, even $4, $5. Um, and if it goes against XRP, obviously the price is gonna plummet back to like 20 cents, right? Um, so it's this is very based off of the outcome of the case at this point. Monica, you made a trade on ETH. Nice. Hey, profit is profit, regardless how much or how little. If you continuously continue to profit, it's gonna build up little by little, right? So I have a bot that I'm working on. It trades for you, right? But it's small amounts, so it's just constantly making $1 profit, $2 profit, three, four, five. Sometimes if there's big pullbacks, it could make bigger profits, on those trades. But it's mostly just small trades making small profits. But they add up. So, sometimes you'll only make, 20, $50 in a day. But if you average that out, let's say you make, $20 in a day. If you average it out through 30 days, if you're doing $20 a day for 30 days, you're making money. And over the long term, you're making money, and it's passive, right? You're not doing anything extra. So that's for the bot, obviously. But if even if you do it yourself, if you're doing it yourself and you continue to make small profits, you're gonna continue to grow your account. And as you grow your account bigger and bigger, you can take bigger risk. You can your position sizes can be a little bit bigger, so your profits are gonna be a little bit bigger, right? Um, but yeah, just keep doing that, and you just have to be consistent. That's the name of the game in trading, is consistency. Yeah, dollar cost averaging for long term is definitely the best way to go, and that's why I always preach dollar cost averaging, because at the end of the day, none of us know what the market is gonna do. We can't tell the future. Anything could happen at any point in time. So you always want to be safe, and the way to limit your risk is to dollar cost average your entries if you're looking to add positions to a certain project or coin, or to Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it is. Dollar cost averaging over the long term will definitely pay off the best with the least amount of risk. And it's also the easiest strategy to do. Let's go, baby. Yes, sir, Justin. No problem, Andres. John Barry, how you doing, man? Dave, the Bybit platform actually is not for the US. I think it works in most of the world except like the US. I don't think it works in the UK. It doesn't work in Canada. So you just have to, it depends where you're located. Um, so if you're located in one of those places where it doesn't work, you know, um, you can't use it. But if you use a VPN, then there's possibly a way around it. I'm not saying to do that, but it is something you can look into. John Barry says XRP news from the trial seems to be positive. Okay, yeah, that's why the price has been moving up. Um, but yeah, definitely with XRP is still going to be capped until until there's some sort of settlement or whatever it is that ends up happening because people are afraid. So so I think it'll be probably capped under the $2 range until there's some sort of settlement with the case, which then if it's in favor of XRP, it'll probably double at that point, maybe more. If it's against it, then it's gonna plummet back to like 20, 25 cents. So it just depends. Bits, awesome, dude. Yeah, you've been asking a lot of questions, man. So that's definitely you're definitely doing it the right way. Don't a lot of people try to come into the trade room and just jump into the trades without understanding what they're doing, and then they lose money and they get mad at me. You know what I mean? And if you don't put in the time to learn, then you're not gonna earn. Is what that's what I like to say. Like if you have to learn before you earn. Um, so you've been doing it the right way. You came in, you've been asking questions, you've been watching videos, you've been putting the time in. So that time in is going to pay off because what you put into it is what you're going to end up getting out of it. Um, congrats on making profits today, man. Let's keep it rolling. Real hustler, 1 year is still pretty short term, you know. So it just depends in what perspective you're talking about. Um, it's definitely 1 year is better, is longer than looking at it in day to day or week to week, month to month. But 1 year is still a very short time frame. Like when I look at the crypto space, I'm thinking and making moves in terms of big picture, the next 5 to 10 years, right? I'm thinking in 5 to 10 years. I'm not thinking right now. So, if you're broke today, if today if you're struggling with money, is because of what you did 5 to 10 years ago, what you were doing with your money the last 5 to 10 years. So, what you start doing today though is going to, if you start deciding to and start investing and learning, getting your financial literacy and knowledge up in the next 5 to 10 years, you're gonna have more money than you have right now because you've been putting in that work and it takes time for it to start working out and the compounding effect to start happening, compounding interest and all that. So in 1 year it's too short. So I'm always thinking in 5 to 10 years. So as long as you start making moves now, in the next 5 to 10 years, you're gonna be in a better situation than you are right now. If you're in a bad situation right now, is because of what you've been doing for the past 5 to 10 years. So if you're in a bad situation right now, think about what you've done the last 5 to 10 years with your money, and stop doing it because it's obviously not working. And start, putting in the time and effort to really learn and be able to set yourself up for the next 5 to 10 years. So you got to think in those aspects. Marco, there's a lot of different platforms that offer bots. But the bots, they come with default settings which are usually really bad. So you have to kind of play with them and figure out your own settings, which is what I've been doing for about the last 6 months or so. So I'm going to be releasing a bot soon. Still working on getting the infrastructure set up. That'll be, that I can just set people up with and to make profits. So hopefully I have that out soon. But with the person that I'm working with, unfortunately, they haven't been, very reliable, and they've missed their deadlines. So I'm working on either getting them to finally finish it or having to find someone new to set up that infrastructure again. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Andres, again, Dogecoin. I'm not an investor in that, um, because that's just based off of hype, and I don't like to invest based off of hype. So with things like that, for sure you can make money on them. But guess what? There's more people that will lose money than make money on these type of things, because they're gonna get greedy and not know when to sell, or they're gonna buy when it's hot and not buy when it's down here, right? So if you really want to put your money into something like Dogecoin or any of these other meme stocks, I mean, now would be the time to maybe put a little bit of money into. I wouldn't put a lot of it into it, because you don't want to buy when it's up here. That's when it's the wrong time to buy. You want to be buying when prices are down here. But again, I don't recommend buying it. I'm not buying it. Some people like the thrill of it. So if you're one of those people, then you can use that to your own discretion. But you're responsible for that. No problem, Dave. Yeah, Tristan, that's called you're biased. So if you're missing out, you're gonna be hoping that prices go down so that you can buy more. If you're in it, then you're hoping prices go up. You're always gonna be biased in the direction of where your money is. Max Financial says stealing that. Learn before you earn. As long as you give me a little bit of credit somewhere, I don't mind, man. Waiting for a bear market. Yeah, I mean, I think we're still in the middle of the bull, especially now that we're back above 42. That was the main level that was holding us down. Um, so maybe at the start of next year we could see the ending of the market, but it's still too far out to be able to predict. It's hard to predict something like that. So I don't get into those discussions trying to predict when there's going to be a bear market or a big drop, things like that. I just try to read what's happening at the moment. You lost money twice and had, yeah, man. You have to learn before you earn, man. That's the strategy when doing that. Yeah, I definitely agree, John. Yeah, I mean, real hustler. I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen a year from now, right? In the next 12 months, who knows what's gonna happen? But I would say dollar cost average into whatever projects you like, and go from there. Oscar, my man, what's up, man? How's ADA treating you? Is now a good entry for Cardano? Now is a risky entry for Cardano because, like I said earlier, it's already up in the last 14 days. It's up over 100%. You don't want to be buying the top, guys. You want to be buying down here. So I'm personally not putting any money into it right now. Um, Even though it still could go up because the update is September 11th or 12th, around there. So potentially it could go up, but I'm not buying at this point. You should have bought during the dip. You can't buy once it moves up like that. Sam, like I said, and I covered it in a lot more detail earlier on the stream. But right now, like when you're looking for new projects to put money into, don't put money into projects that look like this because the move up has already happened. You should be buying when it's down here, not when it's up here like this. It's at all-time highs. All-time highs, that's where you're taking profits, not buying. You're not looking to enter there because all these people that bought the dips down here, they're going to be dumping on you up here. So you want to look for other charts. You know, Binance coin could potentially still move back up to the 600-700 level, right? Polkadot still has room to go up. Chainlink has room to go up. It's still in a dip. Litecoin still has room. Look at that. It has a lot of room to go up, right? So you got to be looking for things like that, you know, where it's still in a dip, because you don't want to be buying when it's up here, because what happens most of the time is sets new all-time highs, is going to drop. So I love the project. I think long term is gonna still go up. Very bullish on it. I'm just not entering new positions when it's up so high at all-time highs. No problem, Tristan. Thanks for tuning in, man. All right, guys, we've been live for over an hour now. If you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, guys. Helps us out a ton because of the way that the YouTube algorithm works. The more you guys interact with the video and with likes and comments and stuff like that, the more people that YouTube shows the video to. So it helps grow the community, you know, and I'm able to do, you know, cooler stuff with the bigger the audience grows, really, because then it gives me, you know, more opportunity to do different things. But yeah, man, I think I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover. If you guys are new to the channel, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 11,000 subscribers. This is our 1-year anniversary. We started making videos last year, mid-August. So this is officially our 1-year anniversary. We've hit over 10,000 subscribers in a year, and we thank all of you guys a ton, because you don't have to be here, you choose to be here. That means a lot to us. We don't take that for granted at all. And, you know, we wouldn't be doing this without you guys, because if we didn't have any viewers, you know, and people interacting with us, and, you know, if we weren't helping in any shape, way, or form, you know, then we wouldn't be doing this, because it just wouldn't it would be a waste of time if it wasn't helping anybody out. So I definitely appreciate every single one of you guys. And here's to the next year, right? Let's see if in the next year we can continue building up this channel and the brand overall, so that we can have more opportunities to do bigger things for you guys. And that's at the end of the day, that's the goal. You know, spread the message to the masses. And then have opportunities, you know, with the bigger our following is and the more opportunity that we get in the crypto space to do like events, conferences, you know, all the different things that come along with it. So I appreciate you guys. That's pretty much it. I think I covered everything. If you guys missed anything on this video, make sure to go back to the beginning, because we definitely dropped some gems earlier on the stream. And that's pretty much it. Tomorrow I might do a tutorial, and then Friday will be another market analysis. So let's see what happens from here. Right now, remember on Bitcoin, that support is 48,000. We want 48,000 to hold here. If it holds here, you know, that resistance is of course 50,000. If we break above 50, and confirm above 50, the next level that we're looking at is around 55. So that's currently what we're watching right now, guys. Let's see what happens, and we will update you with whatever develops from between now and Friday on Friday's market analysis video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys on the next one. As always, guys, peace and love.